Cancer is one of the world's biggest killers, with 7.6 million people dying from it in 2014 alone. As populations in the developed world continue to age, the risk of catching cancer in our lifetime is increasing from a 1 in 3 chance to an estimated 1 in 2 chance by 2020.
So basically we're living longer because of better healthcare, and that means we're not dying of other diseases, so we're living to an age at which cancer comes into the question.
Despite hundreds of billions of dollars having been spent on the war on cancer, since 1950 the death rate for cancer has dropped only 5%, while the death rate for heart disease has dropped 64% in that same time. With even the World Health Organization pointing out the inherent conflict between drug companies' ambition to make profit and their moral obligation to provide medical needs to the wider public, many people are asking, has the cure for cancer been suppressed? The pharmaceutical industry generates higher profit margins than any other industry, with the 10 biggest companies making more than $1 billion in sales a year each. Conspiracy theorists argue that cancer research is covered up, and many potential cures are ignored and discredited because there is more money in perpetuating cancer than in curing it. In 2011, articles circulated the internet claiming that Canadian researchers had found a simple cure for cancer, but major pharmaceutical companies were not interested. The articles were based on a 2007 study conducted by the University of Alberta in Edmonton, Canada. The study found that the basic drug dichloroacetate, or DCA, could shrink tumours in rats infected with human cancer. Furthermore, the drug was tested on human cells cultured outside the body and was shown to kill cancer cells without killing healthy cells. Soon after the study was published by New Scientist, websites popped up selling DCA as a treatment for cancer, but were swiftly made illegal by the US Food and Drug Administration, even though the drug has long been used legally to treat the rare mitochondrial disease with few side effects. This swift crackdown on the once accessible drug led some people to claim that there was a conspiracy to suppress a cancer cure. While the FDA, cancer charities and DCA researchers cited the need to conduct clinical studies before DCA could potentially be provided as a safe and effective cancer treatment, critics argue that 4 years on, pharmaceutical companies have neglected investing in trials on the drug, simply because it can't be patented and therefore no profits can be made from it. A similar argument has been made by US cancer researchers who, despite observing that regular aspirin doses dramatically reduce the death rate in breast cancer victims, repeatedly failed to secure government funding for clinical trials. Although the government should have no profit motives when deciding which trials receive funding, the researchers believe their rejection is due to aspirin being too cheap for anyone to make money off it as a cancer cure.
The humble aspirin. It's more than just a painkiller. It's commonly used today as a drug to prevent heart attacks and strokes, and now it seems it can tame the demon of cancer too.
Additionally, despite studies showing that patients taking the diabetes drug metformin have a much lower risk of dying from prostate cancer, no drug company has funded studies into finding out how it could be used in cancer treatments. Again, because it is not patented and therefore won't generate a profit. Instead of testing metformin as a cancer treatment, drug companies are looking for ways to modify it so it can be patented as a new drug, which will consequently make it more expensive for patients. Unfortunately, there is no evidence to support the conspiracy that the cure for cancer is being suppressed. However, there is genuine concern by those involved in cancer research that big pharmaceutical companies prioritize their legal responsibility to shareholders to generate mass profits over their moral responsibility to improve patients' lives. And because cancer is a class of diseases, it is unlikely that there will ever be a single cure. The extreme competition for financial resources between pharmaceutical companies means that they are less likely to embark on the innovative studies needed to make fundamentally new discoveries in cancer treatment. Meanwhile, potentially cheap cancer treatments aren't investigated. Nevertheless, cancer survival rates in both the US and UK are improving, and as long as cancer remains an indiscriminate disease able to affect both politicians and pharmaceutical executives, it is unlikely a cure for cancer will ever be suppressed. In 2012, Innocenti made medical history when the court ruled that cell phones can give you cancer. But Mr. Marcolini's cancer is not an isolated incident. Many people from around the world believe the same thing happened to them because they use their phones too